Why do people die? A philosophical letter for the grieving heart. They're gone, and now you're left with the echo of everything unsaid. There's a part of you that still can't believe it, still hoping they might call, still hearing their voice in quiet moments. In the spaces between sleep and waking, and deeper still, there's regret. Not just that they died, but that you didn't know sooner, that you didn't say more, didn't do something different, didn't hug them longer, didn't look them in the eyes one last time. This isn't just sadness. It's the kind of grief that rewrites time, that makes you replay the past with trembling hands, trying to find where it all slipped through. This is the kind of sorrow that questions the very nature of life itself. When someone you love dies, the world doesn't stop, but your world does. People still walk their dogs. Coffee shops still open. The news still talks about traffic and politics and weather. But inside you, there is stillness, and not the peaceful kind. It's the kind of stillness that aches, a loneliness that isn't just about missing their voice, but missing the chance to say all the things you didn't. Maybe you feel guilty. Maybe you wish you'd paid more attention to the signs. Maybe you're angry at yourself for not knowing, for not being psychic, for not being perfect, for being human. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, wrote, "What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears." You are not weak for feeling this way. You are not broken. You are simply grieving. And grief is not a flaw. It's a testimony, a reflection of love that had no place to go. Why do people die? Because we are born into a world that promises change, but never permanence. Because the moment we open our eyes, we begin the slow walk toward a mystery no one can return from. Because time doesn't wait until we're ready to say goodbye. Because life, in all its shimmering beauty, is also breakable, fleeting, imperfect, fragile. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king of Rome, once wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think." Death isn't the opposite of life. It's the companion, the silent twin that walks beside us every day, whispering, "Don't waste this." It feels cruel. It feels unfair. But it is also honest. You didn't know. You couldn't have. But now, your mind replays moments like a loop you can't escape. Why didn't I check in more? Why wasn't I there? What if I had stayed longer, asked one more question, said one more thing? It's easy to fall into the trap of retroactive clarity, but Epicurus wrote, "Death is nothing to us. For when we exist, death is not. And when death exists, we are not." And yet, it's not death you're wrestling with. It's the living without them. The space they filled, the color they brought, the way their presence made your own life feel more anchored. Grief lives in the gap between memory and reality, in the places where they should be, but aren't. But grief isn't about going back. It's about learning how to go forward, carrying their weight in a new way, carrying them in you. What if they are not as far as you think? What if love doesn't vanish but transforms? They become the quiet in the morning light, the song that plays when you weren't expecting it, the wind at your back on a lonely walk, the tear that forms without warning. Rainer Maria Rilke said, "The great secret of death is this, that in taking from us a being we love, death does not wound us without, at the same time, lifting us toward a more perfect understanding of life." You understand love differently now, not as presence, but as meaning, not as proximity, but as memory. They are not gone. They are simply no longer visible. They are no longer someone you see, but someone you carry. Death has always been the shadow trailing behind life, silent, patient, unnoticed, until it touches someone we love. And suddenly, everything becomes vivid. Everything becomes finite. We begin to see the sacred in the ordinary. The way they laughed, the way they mispronounced that one word, the quiet rituals of being alive. Khalil Gibran wrote, "When you are sorrowful, look again in your heart, and you shall see that in truth you are weeping for that which has been your delight. You grieve because you loved, you regret because you cared, and that means your heart was open. But now you're left with a choice, to close it in fear, or to let this pain deepen your capacity for presence. Let it make you more awake, more honest, more grateful, because love does not end at the grave, but regret can keep you from continuing to love what remains." If you could speak to them now, what would you say? Would you tell them you're sorry, that you miss them, that you didn't realize how much they meant to you until they were gone? And maybe, if you could hear them respond, they would say, "I forgive you. I knew you loved me. I'm still with you." Grief doesn't ask you to stop hurting. It asks you to transform that hurt into something human, into memory, into meaning, into a deeper relationship with time. Love does not vanish. It changes its form. It becomes the thread that binds who you were to who you are becoming. Why do people die? So that we remember to cherish the living. So that we realize we are not promised forever, only now. So that love becomes something we don't just feel, but choose. They are not just a memory. They are part of your becoming. You will always carry them, not in pain, but in the space they left behind, the space that shaped you, the space that made you softer, wiser, more alive. Let grief shape you. Let regret teach you. Let love remain. You are not alone.